season. It's snowing. This is our first major snowfall of the season. I'm actually getting out of work a little bit early because navigating in this stuff is a bit tricky. Not because I don't know how to drive in it, but because people who have been born here, who have been living here since Jesus was small, can't seem to navigate in the snow or the rain for that matter. And that drives me insane. So I thought that I would get out a little bit early and beat traffic hour. Anyway, that's not what this is about. So I made a decision, y'all. I made a decision and I thought that I would come out and I would share it with y'all. Because you care. I made the decision this morning while I was brushing my teeth that it was time for me to start dating again. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And I made this decision rather arbitrarily because I honestly hadn't given it a whole lot of thought. Like, it's not as if people have not asked me out on dates. But I generally say no. And yeah, I've said no for about a year now. Although I did go on a couple of dates earlier this summer, but I've said no for a variety of reasons. Number one, I'm always concerned about baggage that I'm carrying into any relationship. This last relationship, and even with the last revelations that I had just a few weeks ago, really left me shell-shocked. It left me shell-shocked. It left me distrustful. And I felt like I needed to do some healing. I felt like I needed to deep dive into my own psyche and, really figure out what I wanted and figure out, how I felt and, what that ultimately meant. And while it's only been a couple of weeks since finding out the information that I did about my ex, I kind of really feel like that set me free in a lot of respects, because maybe there was some part of me that was really hopeful that he would come to his senses and we could work it out. I know that sounds crazy, but that's just being honest. Like, when you love somebody, even when they hurt you, it's so hard to really be like, F that person. That's not me at all. Like, it's really not. And so I still had some glimmer of, like, I really did have a glimmer of hope until this last thing. And so, now that I have this, like, I feel like that, I don't know why that's the closure that I feel like I needed, because I don't know why, but, everything happens for a reason. And so, I'm sure that Spirit was telling me, listen, fool, stop it. So I'm inclined to listen. So whilst brushing my teeth this morning, I started to really think about, like, the kind of relationship that I wanted, the kind of person that I wanted to be involved with. Even though I think that every person that comes into your life is either a good example or a horrible warning. And you get to decide which one you're going to be. I'm really sick of the horrible warnings. And so it'd be really nice if I have some nice examples going on from this day forward. And then I was kind of thinking, I was like, oh God, do I even want to, I know that marriage is my ultimate goal, but like, am I ready? Am I ready at 50 to settle down and to just be with one person? The answer is yes, but again, I'm still a little shell-shocked, and I think that is going to take a fair amount of work for me to get to the place where I feel like I can trust someone completely. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's definitely a mechanism that's in place to keep me from falling too soon and too hard for someone who hasn't proved their worth or proved that they're worth that investment. So maybe that's a good thing ultimately. I don't know. Time will tell. What I know for sure is that I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to be bitter. Like, I've worked so hard, y'all. Like, y'all don't even understand how hard I've worked to not be bitter and to not be angry. I can be flippant, and I can be, I can be definitely tongue-in-cheek and sarcastic, but my true heart is I don't ever want to hate anybody. I don't ever want someone to invoke feelings in me that are vitriolic or nasty or negative, because honestly, that is detrimental to me. That don't have nothing to do with the other person. Like, I don't want to be that person. If every time I think about somebody that they invoke some negativity in me, and so now I got to carry that around. Meanwhile, this person is out at brunch having mimosas. Now think about me while I'm sitting here with this messed up memory that I got to deal with. Like, I really wanted to heal. I really wanted to deal. I don't want to saddle my husband with that negative energy. Like, I really don't. Like, I want to grow and to be better for the experience and still have hope and an expectation of reasonableness. And I don't want to put all men in the same category. I don't think that's fair. I don't want to be in the category with other people's exes that have done despicable things, and now I got to not only prove my worth and value, I got to prove hers too. I don't want to do that. Like, that's too much work. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have that expectation. I want to be reasonable in my expectations. So, my baby step was to begin to say yes to more offers. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to say yes to every offer, because I don't want to just take people on a ride. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't want to mislead anybody. I don't want to go out with someone that I just truly don't have any interest in. Even though I've been encouraged to do that, like, I don't know how to hurt. If y'all, listen, if y'all haven't learned nothing from my vlogs, please understand this. I'm not the girl who just accepts invitations just to have something to do. I'm clearly not missing any meals, so I don't need dinner. I like to eat, but I can feed myself. I don't really want to be sitting up feigning conversation with you or feigning interest, especially if I know that you're seriously interested in me. Like, I feel like that's kind of cowardly and low, right? Like, I don't want to do that. And I certainly don't want to give the brothers extra ammunition, because, a lot of my social media friends were circulating this bogus article talking about some, half of all women have admitted to accepting dinner dates or lunch dates just for the food. And I'm telling you, men were circulating that doggone article. Well, I'm a research purist. Like, I believe in relative sample sizes. I believe in understanding enough in, having enough in to get to a value that makes sense. I don't believe in just arbitrarily publishing studies or what have you just in order to make a point, because people see a headline and they run with it. So of course, I'm looking for, what is the relative sample size? How many people were surveyed? What was the interval, the confidence interval for responses? How many people didn't respond at all? Those kinds of things. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking, and it's at the very bottom. It says that this can't even call it research. We're gonna call it a survey. This survey was, number one, on a college campus. Number two, I think it was like 300 or less women who responded. So you took 50% of those women, which would have been about 150 people. 150 people. There are 162 million women in this country alone. Like, let that sink in. So 162 million women in this country, and 150 of them said that they had a meal. Had a date just for a meal. And I'm telling y'all lost your minds and just went berserk. That's not how any of this works. Anyway, I don't want to contribute to the fallacy and the conjecture and the wrong opinion that women are out here suffering through jacked up dates in order to get steak or whatever it is that people feel like they're getting. So yeah, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to go out on dates that are fun and meaningful and connective, and maybe I am a Lifetime movie waiting to be written, but I really feel like it's somebody out there who wants to do that, who has some ability to have some synergistic kind of conversation and connectivity, and like, I want it to be meaningful. It doesn't have to lead to the altar, but I would like to walk away with at least a friend or someone that I can have some conversation with. Like, I'm all about creating attachments. Like, my time for just loosely dating is over. And at the time that I probably should have been loosely dating or having a whole phase or whatever it is that y'all want to call it, I was married. I was married with kids, and it's really a bad idea to have a whole phase when you're married with 4 kids. If you ain't gonna have that whole phase with your husband, like, yeah, don't do that. And fellas, you either. Yeah, if you got a wife, don't be trying to have a whole phase like that. Later for that, that's how you wind up sitting in your driveway in your drawers with nothing. Anyway. So y'all send me love and light as I go on this journey, because I am opening up my heart and opening up my thoughts to projecting and attracting positive men into my life who want a little spitfire from the city, from the deep, and who don't mind a little east side verbiage along with some fairly high expectations, but who will fiercely love you and protect you and your behind and all that kind of stuff. I'm Felisa. I will talk to y'all later on. Bye.